Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Motivation Monday. Megan here, and we're in the boutique of the Novitas Spa Medical Rejuvenation Clinic. It's late Monday afternoon. Sorry it's so late, but it's been a busy day, and I've just wanted to be quiet and be with you for Motivation Monday. We close at 4 o'clock on Mondays, so I decided that this is a better time because then I can have my thoughts collected and plan the week, so to speak. But I've decided that, and I've been doing this actually for the last month plus, but the thread of Motivation Monday follows through for the week, and then ties back, of course, to what we're doing here at Novitas Spa Medical Rejuvenation Clinic. So with that said, I want to talk this week about habits. Habits that can really change your life. Habits that really can dictate how you're taking care of yourself. Habits that will alter the way you look at different things. So I'll explain what I mean by that throughout the week. But one of the things that last week, I mentioned this on, I believe, Friday, and I was speaking about a podcast that Ken Walls did. So go to Facebook, Ken Walls, W-A-L-L-S, and he interviewed on his Walls of Wisdom, I think that's the name of the show, but Tom Ziglar. Now, Tom Ziglar is Zig Ziglar's son, and he's been with the Ziglar Corporation for years, and he's now basically taken over where, he can't fit in the shoes of Zig Ziglar 100%, but he's his own man and his own person. And so as they were talking, Ken, I believe, asked him, what is one of the questions that's asked all the time to you? And he said, and it could have been different, but what I wrote down was his answer. But what he said was that, and maybe Ken asked him about success, the fastest way to success. But what Tom said was that, and he thought about it, and he was, quiet, and really gave it thought, and maybe it was just reflective. But he said that the fastest way to success is to replace bad habits with good habits. So I've been thinking about that since that interview, which was probably Wednesday or Thursday of last week. And that's easier said than done, that's for sure. But I've lived by an adage, break things down into small, manageable parts. And because if you look at the big picture, there's a saying that, one way to eat an animal is a small bite or something. I mean, an elephant in small bites, so it's step by step by step. If you look at the elephant, there's no way you can eat that elephant all at one time. Not that you would want to eat an elephant, but it's about breaking things down into small, manageable parts. And that's really how I've lived my life, is to look at things not as this overwhelming dynamic, but to break things down into small, manageable parts. And recently I've been reading 3 Feet from Gold, Sharon Lechter and Greg S. Reed, and phenomenal. I've read it many times, and it's a mess, and it's you can see it here. But as I was reading it, and I'm basically finished again, but Greg is the main character in the book, and not to share the whole book with you, but he's had many challenges, and he's breaking those down into small, manageable parts and learning from mentors and a mastermind how to really rethink things and to put his life back together, and to also to write the story of these mentors and people that have overcome adversity and have worked through and lived through adversity, and everyone has a different story. But he was interviewing Bob Proctor, and I've mentioned Bob Proctor before, but I really like listening to Bob Proctor on YouTube and his podcasts or his just teachings, because he really is a great teacher of paradigm shifts, thinking different ways. But one quote from Bob Proctor in 3 Feet from Gold is, your first 5 minutes dictate your day. And that's another thing that in the last many years I've been working with and working on, is how to start my day. Well, recently I, on Facebook and through my dear friend Lisa Copeland, met Glenn Lundy. And Greg Lundy, amazing young man, and he has, and I say amazing because his story is amazing, how he's conquered his challenges and his fears and set new goals. But he has a show called Rise and Grind, and it's at 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central, which I don't really watch at 4:30, but I will pick it up on the replay. And but with that, he has recently written, because for the last year plus now, he has been doing this every day, guys. Every day he does this show called Rise and Grind. And it is so motivational, it's so inspirational, and it gets you up in those first 5 minutes, so to speak. And so he has written the Morning 5. And I gave it to my staff at our Tuesday meeting a couple weeks ago, and he's broken down that first 5 minutes, or that first morning and time frame. And as he said, successful people have a morning ritual. And when he interviews people on his podcast, he's always asking that question: how do you start your day? How do you begin your day with your morning 5, so to speak? And so, reading this and seeing Bob Proctor's point about that, and all, the first 5 minutes, or the most important 5 minutes, are setting that pace for the day. And one of the things that Glenn has, and on his website, glennlundy.com, and it's 2 N's, Glenn, Lundy.com, he has Rise and Grind backpacks and clothing and so forth in the Morning 5, but he also has a daily planner, and it's a gratitude. And so what he absolutely, bottom line, says, start your day with gratitude. And we've all heard gratitude and attitude, but I've been thinking a lot about gratitude, and it's about happiness and joy and all of those things, meaning internal. But you can sit down with your gratitude journal and write, I am grateful for something really that has not been good that happened in your life. But as you look at that, there's always a learning and teaching lesson through that whatever. And so internally, you're shifting that yucky thing to a place of gratitude. So internally, that's changing your attitude. And so it really is about going within and looking at things and in a different paradigm shift. So, but if you start your day with that, I start my day with a devotional, and that's changed over the years. In the last year, actually it started last year, but Chuck Swindoll, who I lived in Fort Worth for many years, and he was on the local station up there, and I just like his teaching. And someone gave me this book, not knowing that, and so it's always, as they say, that thing that is there for you in front of you is always what you really need to hear. And so I start, and it ties together with a scripture. Then I go over to that scripture, and just start my day with that and meditate on that and His word, that He shared with that scripture, and then start my day. And then I go into my gratitude journal and write, whatever that might be. I just allow my spirit to go forth and to put that together, whatever that is. It could be just, I'm grateful, and I always start out actually with, I'm thankful for the Lord each day and the fact that I have this day. And then from there, I go on. So, 3 Feet from Gold, Bob Proctor, and really great YouTube. You can go on his website as well, but your first 5 minutes dictate your day. Sharon Lechter, Think and Grow Rich, the Napoleon Hill Foundation. She has rewritten Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich to the Think and Grow Rich for Women. I mean, that is as dog-eared and messed up as this book is. And I have gotten so much from this, and her success formula, which I've mentioned before, but I'll go into it another day, or their success formula that, this book has put together. But start your day the right way, and it will truly change the whole essence of your day. And that's why the Tom Ziegler quote, or not quote, but his statement about changing bad habits with good habits, that's not an easy thing. It really is not. But it is about, breaking things down into small manageable parts. But it all begins with here, and then 14 inches to here, as my friend Jan Goss Gibson says, from the mind to the heart. And then things will begin to shift and change. And, here at the Novitas Spa Medical Rejuvenation Clinic, we have the luxury membership program. And it was interesting to me, a couple of years ago, it got too large. It became unwielding. I couldn't handle it. We didn't have enough providers to manage it. I allowed it to get too large. So the only way I could reorganize it was to stop it. And because I couldn't say, oh, well, I want you to stay and you not to stay and so forth. So I just had to close it. So this was going into 2018. And I put together a yearly program called the VIP program, which we still have, which puts programs together for people for a year and that they can work towards goals because we are your coach. But this membership program, it was fascinating because people would say to me, I miss this. Well, you can book an appointment. Well, it's different. It wasn't a huge savings. There were a lot of perks to it, but it was like, because we give same-day savings when you have a treatment and rebook, same-day rebooking savings, and it pretty much netted to the same thing. And I'm like, well, just rebook. Oh, no, it's a different thing. And finally I stopped and thought about it, and I thought to myself, it's about a habit, it's about a program, it's about a commitment. It's about a commitment to yourself. And also, I'll often hear someone say, or I'll speak with someone and they'll say, I need to join the membership because I need to do something for myself. And if I don't have something black and white and committed to, it just gets away from myself. So it's that good habit of taking care. I often say, if you don't take care of yourself, no one else will. You can be married, you can be with a partner, it doesn't matter. If you don't take care of yourself, you're just not going to do that. So that morning 5, begin that day with that special time for yourself. I'm not saying to get up, because as I told you, I do not listen to Glenn Lundy at 4:30 in the morning. I often listen to Lisa Copeland at 6:45 because I'm up by then. I get up about 6 every morning, sometimes a little bit earlier, but not for 4:30 for Glenn Lundy. But I'll listen to, her big sellers, that her program, her podcast at 6:45, and what is it called? What's it called, Liz? Fierce 365. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's what it is, Fierce 365. And too many names. Sharon has a name, and Lisa, and but hers is Fierce 365, and it's fabulous. She is an amazing gal. I've just so admired her for years since I moved to Georgetown, Texas, and I could go on and on about she. But again, she exemplifies that habit, that putting that plan together and following that plan. And so we are here for you on every level, whether it's daily, monthly, yearly program. That's another reason why I'm so thrilled about the stem cell program, because it is a structure where it's about health and wellness, and it's about taking care of you and having alternatives. And I think that's the other great thing about it. You know, without resharing my story about not having knee replacement and having stem cell, but it was an alternative. It was something to look to that gave me the option of not having surgery and that downtime. So, habits, good habits. Replace good habits with bad habits. I could share and go on and on about that even personally, but we'll talk about that again tomorrow and all week. But we are here, guys, for you, and we just care so much about you and are here for, for an hour or a day, as I say, at your local Destination Day clinical, medical, and wellness spa. Have a blessed day. Be blessed.